A very good morning to these students. Today we'll move on to our last topic of Unit 5 of the Indian Partnership Act, and therein we'll complete our syllabus of Contract 2. So the last topic for the Indian Partnership Act is effect of non-registration of firm. Earlier we have, under the Indian Partnership Act, we have discussed about the meaning of the partnership, definition under the Indian Partnership Act, meaning of partners, firm. Then we studied about essential elements of partners. Then we studied about what are the types of partners, types of partnership. Then we studied about mutual relations between partners. What is the authority and liability of the partners within the Indian Partnership Act? Then we studied about the position of a minor as a partner. Now we'll come, and we also studied about dissolution of a partnership firm. Now we'll come to what is the effect of non-registration of the partnership firm, which means registration of partnership firm is an important aspect which you have to do in accordance with the Indian Partnership Act of 1932. But what is the consequences if you do not fail to do the registration of the firm? So let's begin our lecture. First, we'll understand that what does the meaning of registration of firm means. Registration means getting the partnership registered with the registrar of the firm of the area in which the business is situated or proposed to be situated. Which simply means, suppose I want to start my business in Delhi, so I have to contact to the registrar of the firm of Delhi under the Indian Partnership Act to register my business because I have proposed to start my business in the place of Delhi. So my place of business is Delhi. Section 56 to 71 of the Indian Partnership Acts deals with the registration of the firms. So 56 to 71 talks about all the aspects of registration of the firms. What is the registration of the firms? What are the procedure? What are the effects if you do not get registration of the firm? What are the exceptions? We all will discuss in detail. Now, what is the first application of procedure of the registration of the firm? Registration of the firm may be filled at any time by submitting an application comprising of a statement in a prescribed form along with the prescribed field with the registrar, which means I have started my business of the partnership, but I have not got it registered. So at any time, I need to submit the prescribed form, which is prescribed by under the Indian Partnership Act with a proper statement, and whatever fees is needed to be given, I need to submit it to the registrar. The application of registration must have the following. Now, what would the application of registration of my firm need to have? It should have first the name of the firm, whatever XYZ firm name I wanted, then place or the principal place of business. Suppose my place of business is Delhi. So the place would be place of business Delhi. Then name of any another place where the firm would carry out in business, which means any another sub office which I'll establish in relation to carry out business. Suppose apart from Delhi, I wanted a place in Noida. Then the date on which each partner joined the firm, then the duration of the firm. Now, whether this firm is for a fixed term or it is at the will of the partner, or the duration is only 1 year for completion of a particular project, then the full names and address of all the partners. Statement shall be signed by all the partners or by their agent on their behalf. So if the partner is not available, suppose there is a sleeping partner or a dormant partner, or the partner is not available, in that case, the representative or the agent on the behalf of the partner would sign the partnership form application. So this is the procedure in which you have to provide the statement, fill in everything details with the prescribed form, wherein you need name of the firm, the place of business, any another place of business, then the date with which you want the partners have joined, then the time period of the firm, the name and full address of the firm, do a proper signature. Once the registrar is satisfied that the due procedure has been compiled, everything has been submitted, is true, he shall record an entry of the statement in the register of the firms. Now he will make an entry into the register of the firms and issue a certificate of registration, which means once he is satisfied that all the information provided is true to the knowledge, and after that, then he will make an entry into the register of the firms and issue a certificate of registration, which clarifies that your firm has been registered. Now, what would be the effects of non-registration of the firm? Suppose the firm has not been registered. This was the introduction, that meaning of registration. What is the procedure? Once you follow all the procedures, submit all the documents, your name would be in the register of the firms, and then you would get a certificate of registration. Now, what is the effect if there is non-registration of the firm? As our topic is to deal under this is the similar. Now, when we talk about registration of firm is not compulsory in India. When the Act does not impose any penalty for non-registration, there are certain legal disability which arise from non-registration, which are so great that generally the partners of a firm would not want to have their firm registered. Which means, see, registration of a partnership firm is not necessary in India, or you can say it is not compulsory. While Act does not impose any kind of penalty for if your firm is not non-registered, but there are certain legal disabilities which arise out of non-registration, which are so great that generally the partners of firm would want to have their firm registered. Which means that there is no penalty, nor it is compulsory. But the legal disabilities have been formed within the Indian Partnership Act 1932 such that which will compel the partners that their firm should be registered. So what are the effects? Section 69 of the Indian Partnership Act is designed to exert pressure on the partners to get the firm registered, which means that there is no such kind of penalties if your firm is registered, no compulsory, but the Act has been constituted in such a way which will exert a pressure on the partners that they need to get their firm registered. And that section which talks about the Act of the section is Section 69, which says that if the firm is not registered, following consequences or effects would take place. There are three kinds of consequences which will take place. Number one, suit between partners and firm. Under Section 69, Clause 1, a partner or any person on his behalf cannot file a suit against the firm or any person alleged to be a partner of the firm to enforce a right arising out of partnership contract or under the Indian Partnership Act, unless the firm is registered one and the person has his name filed as a partner in the register of the firms. Which means that there cannot be any suit filed between the partners and the firm, which clearly satisfies that Section 69(1), Clause 1 satisfies that if any person, partner, or any person on the behalf of him cannot file any kind of a suit against the partners or against the firm to enforce the rights which is arising out of the partnership agreement because the firm is not registered. If the partner's name is there in the register of the firms, then only it can be done. It was held in Jagat Mittal Sehgal versus Kailash Chandra Sehgal case that if a firm is not registered, if the partner's name is not there in the register of the firm, then there cannot be any suit between the partners and the firm. Thus, if a firm is unregistered or the name of the partner isn't lodged in the register of the firms, partner cannot sue the firm or any another partner if any of the rights are violated, which clearly specify that you need to register. Then only you can file a suit against the partners or the firm if any dispute arises, any rights is violated. The next is suit between firms and the third parties. Section 69 Clause 2 states that a firm or any other person on its behalf cannot file a suit against a third party for enforcing a contractual rights unless the firm is registered one. This was held in the case of Beacon Industries versus Anupam Ghosh and Bharat Sarvodaya Mills Company Limited versus MS Mohta Brothers. So 69 Clause 2 simply says that you cannot file a suit against any third parties or the firm, which means the firm or any another person on its behalf, which means any another partner on his behalf cannot file a suit against the third party if while contraction during the partnership agreement, the third party failed to perform, failed to pay him the money, due to which his business was not able to carry forward, due to which his right was violated, due to which he was not able to enforce his contractual rights. So therein, if the firm is not registered, they cannot file a suit by the firm against the third parties. This was held in the case of Beacon Industries and Bharat Sarvodaya. This can be overcome only by registration of the firm before filing a suit. No such disability has been imposed upon a third party, which means third party need not have to do any such act. If the partnership firm or the business want to file a suit against the third party, in that case, it needs to be registered. Any person can bring a suit even against an unregistered firm or if it is partner. Now, third party can bring a suit because for the third party is not necessary that he need to be a register or anything. Third party can bring a suit against the unregistered firm. In a case of Puran Mangal Ganga Ram firm versus Central Bank of India, it was held that a subsequent registration could not cure the defect that existed at the time of filing the suit, which means a subsequent registration will not cure the defect that existed at the time of filing the suit. So this was the second kind of point or effect or consequences if your firm is not registered. And the third one is bar to claim of set off or the other proceedings, which is under section 69 clause 3, which says that a claim of set off or any another proceeding to enforce a right arising from a contract cannot be filed unless the firm is registered, which means if any such application of set off is being used or you want to enforce any kind of any another rights within the proceedings, you cannot file a suit against your firm is registered. A set off is equitable defense to the whole or the portion of the plaintiff's claim. It is the right of the debtor to balance the debts with the creditor. Other proceedings include like arbitration proceedings. So if in a dispute, one of the partners referred the matter to the arbitration as per the agreement clause, but the other partners did not agree, the suit to enforce the arbitration agreement would fail as the firm wasn't registered. So there are 2 points that if you want to file a suit for a set-off or for any other proceedings, that can be arbitral proceedings. Now see, set-off is a defense of the whole portion of the plaintiff, wherein you have to keep a balance of all the debts to the creditor with the creditor. Now, if that has not been done and you want to file a suit for set off or you want to file a suit for arbitrational proceedings under the agreement, but other partners do not agree, but it cannot be enforced unless and until your firm is not registered. And this was held by Supreme Court in the case of Jagdish Chandra Gupta versus Kajaria Traders India Limited. Let's take an example also to understand this provision clearly. If an unregistered firm owns rupees 10,000 to Mr. X, that is the third party, X owes 1,000 to such firm. Now, X files a suit against the firm for the recovery of rupees 10,000. In this case, unregistered firm cannot say that rupees 1,000 should be adjusted against rupees 10,000 because it is an unregistered firm. To claim for set off and or to claim for any other proceedings, it need to be first registered. So there are 3 effects or the consequences if your firm is not registered. One is that you cannot file a suit between the partners and the firm, nor you cannot file a suit between the firms and the third party, nor you can claim for any set off or any another proceedings. Now, this are present under section 69 clause 1, 69 clause 2 and 69 clause 3, which ultimately the law has been formed in such a way which ultimately exerts a pressure on the partners that you need to register your firm. Although it is not compulsory under the Indian Partnership Act, nor there is any penalties, but these provisions present in section 69 create an effect that you need to get your firm registered under the Indian Partnership Act. Now, these effect and consequences have certain exceptions. Let's discuss those. The exceptions to the effect of non-registration of firm, there are 3 exceptions. Number 1, suit for dissolution of firm and accounts. Under section 69 clause 3A, it permits that the suit for dissolution of the firms and accounts therefore can be filed if the firm is not registered. A partner can sue another partner after the dissolution of the unregistered firm for settlement and accounts, and this was held in KL Verma and another versus Shri VK Sharma and another, which means that if your firm is unregistered, you can file a suit to get dissolution of that firm and clear the accounts. Once the dissolution of the unregistered firm take place, then you can claim for the settlement of accounts from the another partners. This was held in KL Verma and another versus Sri VK Sharma in another case. Next is suit for realization of the property of an insolvent partner. An official assignee, receiver or court under the Insolvency Act of 1920 may bring an action to realize the property of an insolvent partner, which means if there is an insolvent partner into the partnership form, which is an unregistered, the court may assign an official assignee or receiver to bring the action to get his property of the insolvent partner. Next is suit by a firm whose place of business is out of India or where the act is not operative. If a place of business or firm is somewhere where the act does not exist, no disability due to non-registration would apply. Now, suppose my firm is registered and my firm or place of business is in America, wherein Indian Partnership Act would not be applicable. So there, no disability due to non-registration would apply. The next exception is suit in which value does not exceed rupees 100. Now, in case of small claim up to rupees 100, the disability due to non-registration would not apply. Now, since if the enforcement of contractual rights or in violation of the rights is up to that, the claim of amount of rupees 100 is only value, does not exceed rupees 100, then in that case there cannot be any such disability due to non-registration of the firms. Next, suit for non-contractual rights and statutory rights. Section 69 does not apply to non-contractual and statutory rights. So an action is maintainable in torts or crime or for the enforcement of statutory rights, even if the firm is unregistered. This was held in Rapotokas Bread Company Limited versus Ganesh Property, which means that if there is a suit which is for a non-contractual right, that is not within the contractual agreement of the partnership, if it is related to torts or crime or for certain kind of a statutory rights, in this it will be maintainable. The suit would be maintainable irrespective whether it is the unregistered, because it is not related to the partnership business. So these are the certain exceptions if your firm is not registered, wherein this makes it clear that these certain 5 exceptions can create an effect that if your firm is not registered, you can bring a suit for dissolution. Then the official assignee can be appointed by a court to realize the property of insolvent. Then uh, the suit by the firm of whose place of business is outside India, which means wherein Indian partnership does not exist, it can be no disability would arise. Next, that suit in which value is not exceeded rupees 100, there also no disability would arise. And suit for non-contractual or statutory rights, there also no disability will arise. Thus, we conclude on a point that registration of firm is never made compulsory, but is an extremely important part of Indian Partnership Act. It is not compulsory, nor there is any kind of a penalty over it, but it creates such a pressure on the partners which become important for them to apply for the registration. So it is an extremely important part of Indian Partnership Act, and it has devoted an entire chapter to it. If a firm does not get itself registered, it loses the right to sue a third person or its partner, or in any case of violation of contractual rights. Hence, it is imperative to get the firm registered along with its partner so that it can exercise its rights in a long run. So, which means that it is important for the partnership firm to get imperative for the firm to get its registered themselves with the partners so that they can exercise its rights. Otherwise, if they are unregistered, they cannot exercise the rights to file a suit against the firm or any of the partners, against the third parties, or against to bring a claim of set off or any other proceedings in case if there is a violation of a contractual rights, which cannot be taken place, which means they cannot have any say over the suit. Thus, students, with this we have concluded the point that effect of non-registration of the firms caters an impact in which it is necessary for the Indian Partnership an Act of 1932, which exerts a pressure on the partners that they need to get their firm registered, nor it is compulsory, nor any kind of penalty is imposed. But it is imperative for the partners to get themselves registered so that they can exercise their complete rights in a longer run. With this, we have concluded our syllabus of the contract 2 with the conclusion of our Indian Partnership Act. Any doubt in the entire syllabus of all the topics, you can contact me through the mail. Further, I would be providing you an assignment for the same. I request you read the question well, do the assignment diligently and submit it on time. The next thing, please keep the Bare Act of Indian Partnership Act with you while you are studying with the lectures, preparing your notes, which will help you to understand the provisions much better. Thank you and have a good day.